What's up, you guys? How are you? Happy Wednesday. Nobody knows what day it is because Monday was Memorial Day. And we've been in quasi lockdown for 3 months. Anyway,
yeah,
it is Wednesday. So we went on a little rant yesterday about you taking care of yourself and doing all the things. And if you haven't listened to it and you want to hear us a little fired up, you should go listen. Hi, Mike. So today we want to actually give you 5 things you can do right now that are going to improve your health. That are super simple, nothing crazy, no rocket science, but super simple things that you probably all know, but it's always good to have a little reminder of the things that maybe you should be doing. So what's your top tip?
Well, first, I always do that. Before we get into that.
Because you always have it before.
Yeah, well then you should know that. Is, one thing when it comes to health, there's always hot topics, there's always slogans, there's always all kinds of, gurus, mumbo jumbo, everything out there. There's a lot of, people's own belief system, their own belief structure that falls into, nutrition, diet systems, exercise, whatever it may be. And so, for us, we like to try to cut through a lot of that stuff. We've tested out a lot of different things over the years of doing this, not only as coaches, but also on our own journeys through this. And it's what we found on there is there's no real one-way, simple cut through everything. This solves the problem for everyone across the board, right? Like it's being able to understand, and this is what we've been talking about yet again for the last 62 episodes, is first it comes from awareness, right? Of what it is that you want and why is it so vital that you want it. And then discovering along the way of the best things that allow you to go along in that path, right? And so we're talking about health, you guys, is it's one of those things that it's not always easy, especially in the world that we live in. There's a lot of variables that don't get accounted for, whether it be your job, your lifestyle, your essentially your environment, different aspects of those kind of things. But it's simple, right? Like I think that's the part that we try to get things down to the nitty gritty, is if it's not always easy, but it's very simple. And so the more simplistic we can make certain things, the easier it is probably for you to abide by and also to make measurable steps to actually doing. So the first one,
I don't like the word abide.
Yes.
For you to lean into,
yes.
For you to accept into your life. Abide is a rule. We don't like rules.
So
yeah. Makes it easier to implement because they're sort of common sense.
Yes. So at least have boundaries around, right? We will talk about, get
rules
into boundaries.
Rules are my hot word. Can
yes.
you tell?
So to have boundaries surrounding those things. And so, the first one for me is we'll talk about movement, right? Like if you've been following us going through this long enough, we have five elements of shift that we direct people through. It's feel, move, focus, environment, and nourish, right? And so, the first one is simply on there would be a simple aspect of movement, which is just getting 10,000 steps a day, right? Like for those that know us, obviously we own a CrossFit gym. We're CrossFit. We're coaches by nature, but we own a CrossFit facility, but really when it comes down to it, whether you're doing CrossFit or Zumba or walking or whatever it may be, is simply just get 10,000 steps a day, right? Like for most of us, we have a smartphone that can estimate the amount of steps that you're getting. So put that thing on your hip and allow it to run and see how many steps you get. And I think there was a study, last year that came out from the University of Chicago, I believe it was, that showed that, or that estimated that, if everyone in our nation would get 10,000 steps a day, it would drop our healthcare cost, by $200 billion, right? Like something so simple as just walking, right? Whether that be, obviously, hopefully now that stores are opening up, park further away so you can walk there, right? Like so simple things about that can make a big difference of just something so simple of just simply just walking and moving. I know for us, we've been walking a lot more because we have kids, we have a dog, we have all these kind of things, and we have more time as far as getting out and being in quarantine. But for us, that's been a daily practice that we've been able to implement, which has been awesome, simply just going and walking.
Right. And I think, if we go to the thing of walking, I think there's a couple things here. If you're walking, sunlight is amazing for you, right? So get outside, wear your sunscreen, etc. But we
actually don't do, if you get sunshine sparingly. If you put on sunscreen, it actually negates the whole point of getting sun exposure.
Okay, if you're gonna be out for a really long time, you're gonna get sunburned, put some sunscreen on. But it was funny, we saw some people and they're like, wow, you're really tan. I'm like, well, just from here to here, because we walked every day for the last 3 months. But I think, so I've been walking a little bit in the mornings by myself, other than our family walk as well. And I think there's a couple of cool things you can do. So I want to talk about this. So you guys know I'm all about morning routine. I'm about, meditating and doing breath and doing all that kind of stuff. And so the last few mornings I've taken a few minutes, gone on a 20-minute walk and actually done breath. And done basically meditative thought while I was walking, right? Like, I want to talk about the idea of meditation and breath work because everyone thinks it has to be a lying down, brain's totally like out of the loop, and that's not really true, right? So if you can find some good music, go on a walk, be with your thoughts, think about them, right? But even just as you're walking, just consciously breathe, right? Just breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. As you walk, you're going to find it's crazy how much better you feel. You'll feel more relaxed. You'll feel more connected to yourself. You're actually going to allow those thoughts to flow in because you're not listening to something, or if you're a book reader and you want to listen to a book on Audible, you can do that too. But I actually think meditative walking with intentional breath is really cool and maybe something you've never tried. So if you've heard us say meditation, you've heard me say breath work, and you're like, that's way too out there for me, I can't do it. Gotta love the phone. Go on a walk, grab some music that, like you can look up yoga music and just be with your thoughts for 20 minutes and see how you feel after you do that, okay? The other side of it, if you're going on a walk with your family, is actually be present, right? Like, how many people are walking and they're not paying attention? And like, we've taken it to be our time where we can really just either be with the girls. If they're on their bikes, they're way ahead of us and we have to keep yelling at them to stop and slow down. But like, to be focused with them, or to be consciously there with each other and not somewhere else. So if you're doing those walks with other people, take that time as an opportunity to really be present, right? So whether you're being present with yourself or whether you're being present with other people, just adding a 20-30 minute walk every day is going to drastically improve how you feel. And again, being outside when everyone's cooped up, like, get outside. So like, the walk can do a lot of things for you. Just get out there and do that. Maybe you'll meet some neighbors you don't know. You never know. All right, what's your next one? Do you have a next one?
So I nourish. We'll go with nourish. So I mean, for us, nourishment is on a lot of different aspects, right? Like nourishing your soul, nourishing your body with the food and everything else. But we'll go with food for right now. Obviously, I think nourish could also fall into going for a walk and being present and interacting with nature and doing all the other aspects that Courtney just talked about. But on a aspect of actually eating food, something simple. I think yet again we've been doing this for almost 20 years. That working with different clients over the years of this diet's good, this diet's bad. These are more times than not when most people start getting to the aspect of nutrition and diet, they usually get the mindset of restriction and pulling things away from them, right? Like, what we've learned on there is it's being able to add, and through addition, maybe that might lead to essentially subtraction of other things. But initially on there is simply by adding. And what we like to do is simply just add six total servings or cups of fruits and vegetables to what you're doing every single day, right? Whether that be over the course of your morning, afternoon, and night meals, whatever that may, but it'd be essentially over the course of throughout the day, getting at least 6 cups of fruits and vegetables throughout the day, right? And so it's not necessarily like holding you to a specific macro count. It's not holding you to whether or not it's all organic. It's not necessarily those things. It's just trying to get a variety of some sort of nutrient-dense fruits and vegetables in there to get some color, get some other variety in on your plate and in your palate, and also maybe get some more variety as far as the vitamins and minerals of what you're getting exposed to.
Awesome. All right, it's number 3 is water. So I gotta tell you guys this, it was the silliest thing, but sometimes things make you happy. So I bought these glass jars, which I love, and they have lids. And yesterday I was like, hey babe, can you somehow put a hole in this for me? And he's like, do you want it right now? And I was like, can you do it right now? Super simple. He took the screwdriver, put a hole in it. He's like, there you go. But it made me super happy. I also learned that it doesn't fit in my cup holder, and it spilled on me. But get yourself some water. We just bought a Soda Stream because I love sparkling water, and I was spending way too much on sparkling water and killing the planet with plastic bottles and cans. So find a way, if you don't like water, find a way to spice it up. Get something that'll make it sparkling. add, you know, strawberries, cucumbers, whatever to it, so you can add some flavor. But I guarantee you guys, when you're hydrated, you're going to feel so much better. I mean, we talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago. Like, I hadn't been drinking enough water, and then I spent some time intentionally drinking it, and I was like, wow, my performance went up in the gym. I just feel better. My skin looks better, right? So, like, water is so, so important. And what's the percentage? Like, if
you're 70, well, first off, you're 70% water. Like,
right.
You as a human being are 70% water.
Just
so
me.
if so as if you're, I think it's either 5 or 10% dehydrated, your like cognitive ability, and if you're an athlete or somebody who exercises, your performance actually drops up to like 20 to 30% by just simply being that diminished of water. So, you know, like it does have massive effects, right? Like it plays vital roles in blood flow. It plays vital roles on cognition of, you know, interactions of electrolytes, all the other aspects that I don't geek out too much on, but it plays major roles in your body. So just this simple aspect of 5 or 10% can make massive difference for you.
Yeah. And my top tip is that in the morning, hey Chip, in the morning, start your day with like 12 to 24 ounces of water. So like have that be the first thing you do. When you do that, you actually trigger your own thirst and you trigger your body to want more, and you'll actually want more. Okay. And if you're going outside and you're walking outside, make sure you're drinking water before you go and you're taking water with you. Okay. Don't drink too much water, because then you get out on your walk and then you really have to pee. That's happened a time or two. It doesn't go so well. So get your water at least half of your body weight in ounces, or up to a gallon is kind of our recommendation, especially as it gets hotter and you're outside more. Number 4.
I would say sleep. You know, I think I'd put this up there with one. Like, I wouldn't even put these in like numerical order as far as the importance. I think these are all aspects, but you know, I think for most of us, and yet again, those that know me, this is one of those of do as I say, not as I do, because yet again, sleep is kind of my Achilles heel of trying to get better at it. But you know, the more research we dive into as far as, you know, the importance of sleep, is more and more stuff comes out of sleep is actually more important than exercise and nutrition, right? And so if you're not,
I'm gonna tell that to Brandon every night when I go to bed.
So if you're not sleeping, yet again, like we just talked about a couple of things that water does. Like if you're not sleeping at all, those things massively go up as far as on a detrimental aspect, right? Like if you're a male and you're in the constant need of like searching for testosterone and all those things, get 8 hours of sleep. Like it automatically increases your HGH like significantly. So if you don't know, that's testosterone. So like the male aspect of increasing muscle and all that kind of stuff. But essentially it increases that by like, I think it's like 10% very rapidly, right? And so, you know, but it's simple aspects of what it does, just yet again, of how you function on a cognitive level, how you interact, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, all those things have a significant benefit from you getting more beneficial sleep. And it's not even on the length of which, right? Like it's not like, well, I go to bed and I sleep for 8 hours. It's not if I go to bed and I sleep for 4 hours. It's more on the aspect of the quality of which you sleep, right? Like we simply, does your room have a lot of light in it? Does it have noise? Does it have other restriction? Does your, this is a good one because we just went down these springs and Courtney got to experience that. Is your phone sitting next to your bed, right? Like just the little electrical devices that are sitting next to you can have massive impact of how your body actually sleeps, just because of the other sensory systems that we have within ourselves. But I would say, you know, trying to really focus on getting the best quality sleep would be probably the number one thing that you could probably do. Not to mention, yesterday we were talking about things that you can do to improve your immune system. Sleep, sunshine, walking, drinking water, all these things will massively improve that.
Do you know how far your phone's supposed to be away from you?
I've heard into like the other room. I've heard like behind closed doors. I've heard a lot of different things.
All right, well, this isn't gonna work for us because you would never wake up. So yes, we go out of town this weekend and we were in a little like it was like a room with a kitchen and there's a microwave, and Brandon put a sweatshirt like in the like half out of the drawer, like covering the lights, and I woke up and I was like, what the? And this guy's like, Mom, why is there a sweatshirt there? And then Carson wakes up, she's like, why is there? I was like, well, it's good you guys are observant, but because Daddy was trying to cover up the lights. All right, last and final tip. You want it? You want me to take it?
Take it away.
All right, I'd say the last and final tip is have a good supplement. So I think that when we talk about nourishing our body and doing all of the things that so often, you guys, we get really stuck in like we do the same things and we eat the same foods, and most of us are deficient on some kind of vitamin or mineral, and there's so much research when you actually have the right things that you need. Your body's going to perform at such a different level than when you're deficient. I have a friend right now who's going through some like ringing in her head, and the doctors haven't been able to do anything, and they're telling her it's a nerve thing and there's nothing to do about it. She got a book, it's called the Medical Medium, and literally had her start on 5 supplements. It was like vitamin C, zinc, a couple other things.
Magnesium.
Yeah.
Magnesium's another big one.
Yeah.
For, like,
and literally like within the first like week and a half, it's basically gone down to like 25%. So it's super important to eat really good food, but for most of us, you still have gaps in your nutrition, and you probably still need more vitamins, more minerals than you're actually getting. Oh boy. So I would say find a good quality supplement. You know, if you need some ideas, we can tell you guys that. But as we're talking about a place where our immune system and our health and all that stuff is really important, it is definitely worth investing in a good quality supplement that's going to help just help your body and kind of those defense mechanisms of things that might be going on, especially as the world starts to open up a little bit more. I think that's completely worth it.
I know for us, like, yet again, I know, especially in years prior, like, I was, like, very to the T of weighing and measuring and everything else. But even I know for myself, I'm very habitual on the things that I eat, right? And so I tend to not get the massive variety in the range in which of nutrients and colors and all the other aspects of just a variety of different things can actually bring into my nutritional body. But you know, and I think for most of us, yet again, I know if you're anything like me, is you probably eat very similar every single day. And if that tends to be the case, is yet again, you're probably having gaps, you're probably having things that aren't getting filled to the best of the ability that they can. And if you know, I think for most people, we love to focus on the macronutrients, so the carbs, fats, and proteins, but we really forget the importance of the micro aspect of your vitamins and minerals and the roles in which they play in so much on a hormonal aspect of what your body does. And so, you know, if you're deficient in one thing, you know, it will sooner or later come back to bite you. And what we're seeing, from my opinion, is the state in which we're in is a very good indication of it's just a deficient aspect of what we've been putting ourselves through. So it's just kind of a glaring weakness. So the more you can do these things to help you go through this time and go forward, hopefully the better off you'll be for it.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, we've been on the same supplement for about 6 years and legit won't go a day without it, because we felt the difference when we started taking this, and we know how different we feel. So if you don't think that you need it, find a good quality supplement, try it, and see if it affects you. And if it does, then you need to keep giving that stuff to your body. So hopefully that helps. A little less fired up today. Might have used all the energy yesterday. But if you guys have any questions on any of this kind of stuff, if you need a meditation, want a walking meditation, you know, have questions on anything, just reach out to us. We're happy to help. We've got lots of free resources we can give you if you need any of that stuff. If you want to know what we're taking for supplements, if you want to know what our smoothies look like, whatever, let us know. We'd love to help you, and we hope you're having an awesome Wednesday.
Thanks,
all right, guys. See you guys later.